So today we are going to see the final keyword. Okay, is
Mm-hmm.
final here? Okay, no, we haven't done final right here. So
Mm.
1 second, just. So regarding the final keyword, okay, let's close all tabs first. And now final keyword. So we have seen inheritance, right? Now till now. Okay. So we'll make package. We'll see final keyword implementations with variables, and we'll see final keyword implementations with methods. Oh my bad. With methods, and we'll see final keyword implementation with class level. Okay. Class is a reserved keyword, so we cannot create a package of class. See, int. These are reserved keyword we cannot use in the Java.
Mm.
So that's why instead of class, I have mentioned class level. Cool. So like we have just completed the oops, and in oops there is inheritance, right? So what usually happens in inheritance, that usually there is a class A, right? And class A, if it has a method m1, and this is out a dot m1, right? This is a m1 method. Cool. Nothing new. And now we created a class B, right? So in class
Mm.
B as well, public void, let's say that there is nothing in class B, right? So
Mm.
if I do in our runner class, if I make sure that I have a B class object, b equals to new B, and right now B is not extending anything, right? So let's extend A. Cool. So if I do b dot m1 and try to execute it, then what will happen?
We'll get the 8 out of 1.
Yes, and it gets a from its parents, right?
Mm.
So what if I don't want class B to inherit A?
We should not give extents.
No, no, no. See, I am a developer 1, right?
Mm.
I am a developer 1. I have written this class A. Now developer 2 comes in the form.
Private.
And come again, private where?
Can we use private keyword?
Where?
Private keyword. Private void M1.
Okay, okay. If I do private void m1, it won't be visible outside, right? We haven't done access modifier right now. Okay, it makes sense. No, actually it will hide the method, right? It won't hide the class. Over here when we use extends, we are not trying to access the method, right? We are trying to extend the class. So right, you're right in a way that if I do it private, then over here it will throw an error, right? You are right that if I don't want m1 to get access, this is one of the way in which we can do, because if I make a method private, then its accessibility areas within the class only. It won't be visible outside the class, not even in the child class. Okay. So this answer is cool, but if I don't want to inherit, if I don't, I mean, I cannot make everything private, right? I need some methods to be public as well. But if I don't want it to be, I don't want to change the access modifier, then it won't be accessible from the outside, right? I don't want it to do in this way, and it won't be able, I mean, in a single term, it is what I ask you, you are able to do that particular thing using the private keyword as well. But it's not the way, because other people also cannot access it, right? Our our task is to make sure that class B cannot inherit class A. This is our task, not to hide one method only. There might be 10 methods. If you are going to make every method private, then it won't make any sense, right? We won't be able to use any methods then. So how can I make sure that class, no one extends class A? Because I like I mentioned that in real life, parents tell their children that you are my son, right? But in Java, opposite things happens, right? Because in Java, child says that okay, from now onwards you are my parent, right? So what if someone wants that I don't need any children, right? This kind of feature is also required, right? So
Yes.
Java has provided this with final keyword.
Okay.
Okay, now this class cannot be inherited. So when I use, oh my bad, not here, we will write it at here, right? If I write the final over here,
Class A cannot be inherited by any class.
yes, now see there is an error, right? Cannot inherit
Oh.
from final class A. If I try to run it again, cannot inherit final keyword level A, right? So what do we know by this? That we know, I mean, you can open the notes. There will be some place in the notes where you will find this. I think in OOPS concept only this data you will find. So what happens with the class? Final keyword with a class, final keyword with class cannot be inherited, right? This thing happens when final keyword is used with a class. And let's create a file. Okay, let's get a notes and add and this. Cool. This is one thing. Final keyword with class, it cannot be inherited, right? This is one we have done. So final keyword is very important. Cool. And with methods, right? We have seen this with class, it cannot be inherited. So we need to comment this out. And public class. Cool. So over here there will be an error that this class cannot be inherited. And then let's move to the methods. What will happen to the method, right? Again, this requires inheritance, so there is a class A. Okay, we are checking final keyword. What will happen final keyword if we use with method, and at last we will see final keyword when we use it with variable. Cool. So we have seen till now only method. So what, and this is very important question, right? From interview pointers perspective, everyone asks this question. So when I use the, let's go inside the method A, right? And let's suppose there is a public void m1 method, right, inside this. So a dot m1. Cool. And let's suppose there is a method, oh my bad. So okay, class name should be in caps only, right? So now let's suppose there is a class B and it extends class A. Cool. So class B is now having a dot m1, right? If I do the run and if I open it, psvm, and I do b equals to new b and b dot m1, what will happen? If I run this,
It will call in the AM1.
AM1 will be okay. Okay, I haven't used, oh my bad. Okay, B class extends A and my B I have inherited from where? Okay, I have written code somewhere else. B equals to new B class extends A and A class in this. Okay, this runner, okay, my bad. This won't be doing this. Okay, cool. Now try to run this again. What will happen? A dot m, right, from the parent, right? This is from the parent, right? A dot m1. Let's suppose if I copy paste over here and if I do b dot m1, what will happen now? If I run it again,
It will call B itself, B dot M1 only.
and what's this concept is called? This concept is called,
Overriding.
yes. What if I want to stop overriding for a particular method? There might be 10 more methods in class B. Let's suppose there might be m2 method also. That I am cool with it, right? M2 if you want to override, then cool. But particular m1 method, I want that no one should be able to override it. What should I do then? Then again, if I want to stop overriding of a particular method, I can annotate it with final keyword. Now I won't be able to override it. Overridden method is final, so we cannot override, right? So we cannot override a method which is final. Cool. So in notes, what we will update, these are one liner. Final class cannot be inherited, final method cannot be overridden, right? Okay, double D. Okay, nice. Now it's final variable, right? Variable is left. So what will happen with the variable? Same thing. We need inherit. Okay, for final variable we don't need inheritance. So what will happen is, let's say private, right? Now private string company name, right? Company name is Google. Cool. And let's create a getter. This is a getter, right? And if I do the runner, what I can do is a equals to new a, right? New a, and then a dot get company name, and we'll try to print it. Cool. Let's just print it, and Google is there, right? Okay, now what will happen if I can just directly, and let's suppose this is not private and this is public, right? One will not make it public, but just assume that it is public, so I can change it, right? Google, and I'll make it Google. Cool. If I run it again, then it will be the output Google. Someone is able to change the value, right? I'm able to change the value. What if I want a value to be final? I mean that no one can change it. If I want to make a variable constant, then I can add final keyword with it. Now if I try to run it, then it will cannot reassign a value to the final variable company name, right? So now it won't let anyone to update the value of a variable. Now it will be Google only everywhere. So what happened with variable? That variable
We cannot reassign the variable.
cannot reassign, or variable cannot be reassigned a value, or we can say it variable becomes constant, right? So you will see that when I'll delete this. Let's suppose that constants, right? Some x constant, x company constant. So let's x constant. So what you will see that interface. We will see interface. What is interface? And in interface there is final, static. Everywhere variable is final, static. So that's a different item. But if in a normal class I want to make a constant, then you will do it like private string final string. This is how you make static, right? Static also you write. If you want to make a global constant, so you can say that Flipkart. Cool. So and then variable name, company name. So if someone says to you, okay, make this a global variable, then global constant, then you will write this static as well, so that it can be accessed directly as x constants dot and then company name, right? But if you want to use that particular constant in a particular class only, then you can remove the static, right? So and earlier it should be public, not private, right? But if you want to use that particular this particular constant inside this class only, then only you need to write private, right? So this is how we create constant. So usually constant is public, static, final. Cool. So you will see everywhere public, static, final, or it will be a interface in which it is declared. So we are done with the final keyword right now, right? Let's just give me 1 second. Let's stop.